Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Joshua. We're in Joshua chapter 11, which details the northern campaign. Remember, so far the Israelites have conquered the central part of the land. They did that first. Then they conquered the southern part of the land. That was second. And now they've turned their attention to the north. And chapter 11 describes the northern campaign. Now, what we've already seen is that a northern coalition of kings had come together to oppose the Israelite invasion. And they have gathered, as we saw yesterday, a rather formidable force, a massive army. They even have chariots and horses, which the Israelites do not have. Yet, God has promised Joshua, they will not prevail. I will give you the victory. So Joshua moves quickly to attack them. And instead of waiting for them to come and attack him, he rushes the Israelite army to the field and attacks them in their encampment, taking them by complete surprise. Let's begin reading at verse 7. So Joshua and his whole army came against them suddenly at the waters of Merom and attacked them. Now, the waters of Merom, this is an area north of what will later be known as the Sea of Galilee. It's in the very north part of the Promised Land. That's where the coalition of armies is gathering, preparing, getting ready to march. They do not expect the Israelites to come quickly and attack them, so they're completely caught off guard, and they are routed and defeated quickly. And we're not given details of the battle. We're just told that the Lord gives their armies into the hands of Israel. Verse 8, the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel. They defeated them. They pursued them all the way to greater Sidon, to Meriphoth Maim, and to the valley of Mizpah on the east, till no survivors were left. They defeated the army, threw them into a panic, they fled, and they pursued them all across the northern part of the Promised Land, utterly defeating them. Joshua did as the Lord had directed him. He hamstrung their horses. He burned their chariots. Remember, that's the promise God had made to them. Don't worry about their chariots. Don't worry about their horses. This time tomorrow, you will hamstring their horses. Their cavalry will be destroyed. You will burn their chariots. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what Joshua did. The victory was total. It was complete. The northern kings were defeated. Now, after Joshua defeated the army, the military might, he proceeds to take their cities. So Joshua turned back and captured Hazor, and he put his king to the sword. Hazor had been the head of all of these kingdoms. Remember, the king of Hazor is the one who had organized the coalition. Everyone in it they put to the sword. They totally destroyed them, not sparing anything that breathed. They burned Hazor itself. Joshua then took all these royal cities and their kings and put them to the sword. In other words, he conquered all the lands, all the cities that were involved in the coalition. Hazor, however, is the only one that's burned and totally destroyed. He says in verse 13, Israel did not burn any of the cities built on the mounts except Hazor, which Joshua burned. The Israelites carried off for themselves all the plunder and the livestock of these cities, but the people they put to the sword. So, as the Lord had commanded his servant Moses, so Moses commanded Joshua, and Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded to Moses. In other words, all the instructions that had been given down through Moses to go in and take possession of the land was now complete. Joshua has taken control of the Promised Land. It was in 3 campaigns: the central campaign, the southern campaign, and now the northern campaign. The land belongs to Israel. Now, when you read through this, you may think this happened in just a matter of weeks, but actually this would have taken years. We're given a summary of the campaign, but most biblical scholars agree that these campaigns took probably 6 to 7 years. So this was not all accomplished in a matter of a couple of weeks. But there were many cities that were conquered, many areas that had to be taken, many armies that had to be defeated. We are given the highlights in the book of Joshua. But probably these 11 chapters we've read, it covers a period of 6 to 7 years. It was a long, arduous campaign, but God gave to Israel the fulfillment of the promise. A promise first made to Abraham so many years before. The land will belong to your descendants, and now it does. The Israelites have come into possession of the land. Now, in the latter part of chapter 11, the author is going to give us a sort of a summary of what Joshua had accomplished in these 6 or 7 years. So we'll look at the summary of these conquests and this conquering of the land in tomorrow's session. So join us next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of Joshua.